Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a tag video, which is a book adaptation tag. I actually watch a lot of smaller booktubers just like me, and I watch Sarah Reed's video a lot because she is also a fellow fantasy enthusiast just like me. She is very skilled at doing these booktube video without any edits at all. Most of the times it's very minimal edits, and I do like a million of them, and I really admire her for her ability to speak so flawlessly and so beautifully in front of the camera. And while watching one of her videos last week, I came across a tag video which was book adaptation tag, and I thought that this is an interesting thing that I want to, and here I am doing it. Now the original tag was done by Raul from Raul Reels, so I will link their channel, Sarah's and Raul's channel, both in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you don't know me already, and if this is your first time here, my name is Angela, your own bookaholic brown name. In this channel, we talk about books, books, and books. So if you have bookish friends, please share this channel with them. And if you like my contents, please like and subscribe to the channel. The list of questions that I have here for the book adaptation tag has 10 questions in them. In the original tag, there were only 8 questions. Somewhere along the way, I think one question got added, question number 9, and I took the liberty of adding one question of my own to this list because I thought that it was an interesting question that needs my answering. First question is, what is your favorite book adaptation? And the answer to this question, I think, might be the same as many other booktubers because that was such a great adaptation, and that is The Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson. The reason why so many book readers love this adaptation is because it is done so well. Peter Jackson, even back then, has done such a justice to this book. I mean, to take a story of such an epic proportion and scope and then putting onto the silver screen and satisfying book readers and moviegoers alike for so many decades. I mean, it is an unparalleled achievement. Even now I can sit and watch a lot of the Rings without making any complaints about, the CGI or special effects or the cinematography or lighting or anything. Still enjoy the movie as it is, and that's the brilliance of that particular franchise. And kudos to Peter Jackson for doing such a spectacular job. Question number 2 is, what is your least favorite adaptation? In my previous videos, I had mentioned that I really liked book 1, 2, and 3 of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. Even though I did not finish the series because I was kind of distracted, and I DNF'd it because I was not interested after halfway through book 4 for whatever reason it is. I will definitely pick it up because I've been giving so many prompts online through Discord, and people direct messaging me saying that, hey, I've heard that you don't like this, please give it another attempt. So I'm going to read it again. Having said that, I really loved book 1, 2, and 3 of the Dark Tower, even halfway through book 4. When I heard that there is going to be an adaptation of the Dark Tower series into a movie, and Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba are going to be there, I mean, what more could one ask? But boy, was I disappointed. It did not live up to the hype of the books at all, and so that is one of my least favorite adaptation, disappointing adaptation. So please excuse the lighting here. I'm using natural light from my window, and the weather is trying to be a bitch today. She is very moody, so there might be difference in lighting. It might get darker and lighter as we go, but please excuse. Question number 3, if you could adapt any book, which would that be? Now, the answer to this question might be influenced by recency bias here, because I recently finished reading the Devabad series or the Devabad trilogy by S.A. Chakrabarty, and I have gushed over this in a review that I have done of this book series. I really loved the world building. I really loved the magical elements and the innovation and the creativity that S.A. Chakrabarty has brought into this book trilogy. So I would really love to see an adaptation of the Devabad series, and if if I could be a part of it, why not? So that's my answer to this question. Now, if you haven't read David Bart series and if you plan to step into fantasy, this could be a good start for you, I think. Please go and check it out. Question number 4. What's an adaptation that was portrayed perfectly? For me, this would be a movie that's based on a novel written by Scott Fitzgerald back in 1925, which is The Great Gatsby. I watched the movie first, then I read the book. I think that both were equally brilliant and spectacular, I mean, comparable. And that seldom happens to me, where I love the book and the on-screen adaptation equally. But boy, Leonardo DiCaprio, what a treat to watch. And Carey Mulligan as Daisy Buchanan. Nobody could have done that role that well. I just immersed myself in the movie. I have watched that movie plenty of times. Even the petrol bunk scene, or the gas station as the Americans call it, scene was exactly how I pictured in my mind, and that blew me away. I just enjoy that movie so much. I watch it whenever I get time. So that's my answer to question number 4, a great adaptation, The Great Gatsby. Fifth question is, if you could be in one adaptation, what would it be and who would you play? There is this fantasy trilogy written by N.K. Jemisin called the Broken Earth Trilogy. She has built an amazing, wonderful, horrifying post-apocalyptic world with fantastical elements in it. And in that there is a character called Esun, and I'm assuming she is brown skinned. I don't remember, I read it last year. So considering that I am brown skinned and also considering how much I am a fan of that book, I think that I would like to play the role of Essen from N.K. Jemisin's Broken Earth. And by the way, if you haven't read the trilogy, you're missing out on something brilliant. It is a great fantasy read. Just check it out. I'm not done. I have one more answer to this question. So there is this brilliant female character in the novel Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. The novel is based in 1950s Mexico and talks the story about a woman, a very attractive young woman. She's unmarried, she's single, and because of that fact, she has many suitors, but and also pressure from her family to get married, especially from her father. But she has not made up her mind. She wants to pursue a career, she wants to study something, and even in that she has not made up her mind. She is studying something new every other day, and her recent interest is, I think it was archaeology. All of a sudden she gets a letter from her sister who has been married for a while from the countryside, and she decides to visit her because it's a cry for help as far as the letter goes. And then the story takes such a weird turn that she enters into this countryside home where her sister is married into. It is very atmospheric, it is very horrifyingly gothic adventure that she goes through. Naomi, she is such a headstrong woman. She doesn't stick to the mold, she wants to break it. And even in this house, which has set clear hierarchical roles, and where she is allowed to do certain things and not allowed to do certain things, she breaks them. She is full of curiosity, which lands her in a lot of trouble, life-threatening trouble you could say, but still she manages, and she is basically headstrong. And at the same time, she is this quaint woman from the 1950s who loves to dress up and, you know, wear beautiful makeup and all that. So I would like to play that role, you know, a combination of headstrong woman at the same time, you know, a little bit vain at some point. So that would be an interesting character to play. Sixth question is, what kind of adaptation do you prefer, TV miniseries or films? It basically depends on what is being adapted. If it's a long ass storybook like the Game of Thrones, yeah, like Malazan or something, then I would really love to have a mini series or a mega series, basically, you know, rather than a movie, because it wouldn't be able to contain the entire scope into, you know, a 2 or 3 year long movie. But at the same time, if it's something like a shorter material but at the same time interesting, then it could be a movie. Like, for example, I think what could it be? uh, I don't know, maybe A Little Life. Again, that's literary fiction, not a fantasy, but I think Little Life would be better as a movie. I think maybe a mini series if you stretch it. But yeah, so basically my answer is that it depends on what's being adapted. I would really prefer epic fantasy series to be TV mega series. If you could change anything from a recent adaptation, what would it be? That is question number 7. If you could change anything from a recent adaptation, I actually cannot think of anything. Recent adaptation. Okay, I think season 8 of Game of Thrones, most of you would agree with me, but then it's not technically an adaptation because the book has not yet been written or the book has not yet reached that stage or point in the story. But still, if there is an option to change it and redo it, if they can wait until George R. R. Martin completes the books, then it would be nice to have a redo of season 8, and I would like to see what happens in season 8 if done differently. Question number 8, an adaptation which is better than the book. For me, this is Pulp Fiction, hands down. I really love this movie so much. I have watched this movie numerous times. I just cannot tell how much I love it. I love all the three main characters, especially Tyler Durden. Because of how crazy I was about this movie, I went and purchased the book and started reading the book, and I was kind of disappointed because many of the scenes which were my favorite in the movie were quite dull to read in the book, and I think it is a very justified answer, Pulp Fiction, for this particular question. Question number 9. Again, like I told you, this question was not there in the original tag by Raul Reeds, but it's there in the latest one which I watched of Sarah's video. And the question is, what book adaptation do you like that is widely disliked? I don't have an actual answer for this. Maybe I shouldn't have picked this question up. If you really push me to answer this question, I think my answer would be season 7 of Game of Thrones. I know that majority of people hated season 7 and 8, of the Game of Thrones. I did hate season 8, but I actually loved season 7, starting with the trailer till the end of episode and the epilogue of season 7. I really loved everything about season 7, and I think a lot of people will strongly disagree with me here, but if you really want an answer to this question, then that's the only thing that's coming to my mind. 10th and the final question in this list is which movie or series would you like to be novelized or made into a book or a book series? My answer to this question is Lost, the TV series. I really, really loved Lost. It is one of my favorite series of all time. I have watched it multiple times. In fact, this is the only series that I have watched multiple times from beginning to end. I think it's only maybe House Empty, which I have watched multiple times. That is only twice from beginning to end because I love both these series so much. Lost, as much as it is a massive entertainment, I mean, you can watch it peripherally and enjoy, these bunch of people trying to survive in an island and the conflicts between them and the drama that unfolds and all that, and then just leave it at that. But Lost is much more than that for me, and many of you as well. Maybe, probably. Even though Lost, from the peripheral perspective, looks like this a run-of-the-mill cookie cutter, trapped in an island, now we have to survive kind of a story, it is much, much more than that. Through the journey of the characters in the island, you also see their story from their past lives outside of the island, before they reach the island, before the crash, and how some of their past are molding them into the people that they are in here in the island, and why they make certain choices that they make, as irrational or unreasonable as it may seem. And you see these characters going through this kind of self-realization and awakening due to their experience that they go through in the island. I also love how the show plays around with dichotomy, like, good and evil and free will and destiny and science and faith. You have Jack Shepherd, who is a man of science, and as opposed to John Locke, who is man of faith, and their conflicts and how each of them are faced with their conflicts, and how eventually that has a bearing on the end, or what happens in the island at the end. So all these things added together makes for a good material for a book, which can be explored more by whoever is writing it. I think that would be a great opportunity to make the imagination run wild and, yeah, come up with a great novel or a book series. What do you guys think? Do you agree? So that was my book adaptation tag video. I hope you liked it. Thank you to Raul for making this original tag, and also to Sarah, from whom I was inspired to do this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. You need to subscribe, like, and share, and be back for my next video. So till next time, this is Angela signing off. Bye bye.